Good morning. I'm back, Natalie, the dear hairdresser. I just finished a really cool book about the mechanics of consciousness. It blew my mind. Anyways, it reminded me of one of my favorite videos that I made a long time ago, and it was called How to Travel Back in Time. Or smell something and then you're like back in time, you know? So I think that the emotions are actually things. I'm totally people watching as I'm doing this here too. Interesting people going into the store. Anyways, I think emotions are the key to time travel. A thing that I had been doing when my kids were younger that I think has worked, and that was parenting them backwards. And so in this video, I talk about how I'm imagining who my kids are going to be as adults because I want to be able to hang out with those adult women. But I think about my future self, and I think right now I want to do things that my future self would be proud of. I want to do things that my kids would be proud of. I want to treat my kids like I can see their, you know, who their mature selves are going to be in the future, because I want to hang out with those women someday. I'm doing something similar in my life right now, and I'm calling that halfway to 90. And instead of being afraid to age and afraid that I'm making all these wrong decisions, I keep trying to meditate and connect in the future with the future version of myself that's 90 and has lived this amazing life of wow, and has, you know, drawn all the right people to her and has all of the great stories and has family. But there's no such thing as like a wrong decision, because you just have to make a decision. You know, you have to pick a reality. You have to zone in on something, choose something and go with it. And then I don't think about the details. I think about the feeling of what that's going to feel like. And that's my goal. And on another note on that, you know, a lot of people will say like, oh, you can't change the past. I believe that while you may not be able to change the events of the past, you can change what the events meant. And you can do that emotionally. And you can do that by going back in time in your heart and your brain, connecting with those spaces, either loving on yourself or loving on the people that hurt you at that time with the evolved consciousness that you have now on this timeline, so that you can, by all measures, change the past, because now you've evolved and you understand why it helped you get to this space right here. That frees up an intense amount of energy that's been lingering in this past version of hurt and pain that you can't evolve out of. And if you can reckon that and reason it, you can release this energy into the future. That's powerful, powerful stuff. I'm gonna go visit my dad right now because I have been working hard to release a lot of my dad baggage. He's in bed all the time, you know, he's an old guy. And his brain is still really sharp, and we get to have these great conversations that I couldn't have had any other way. Anyways, made it here to see Dad, and I was just thinking that one of the ways that I have kind of healed from whatever my daddy issues are is just kind of recognizing that like people can't give you something that they don't have to give. And I think part of forgiving people in your past is understanding the tools that they were working with and that they were doing the best that they could. And that is a really hard pill to swallow sometimes, because sometimes your best is really bad. Already part of the generational cycle where my kids are probably traumatized by some of the things that I've put them through, and I can't help that. I did my best and it was bad. But I love them, and I hope that they see that in our future together, because we do have a lot of fun together.